Hey guys, well, I'm sure you guys know what today is.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, loser! Ow!
No.
Yay! Yay!
No.
You got all the good stuff.
And yet, I'm still not satisfied.
There we go. As you can tell, it's Halloween. I don't want to repeat the same thing that I mentioned over and over, but here I go. Costumes, candies, parties, pumpkins. Surprisingly no killer clowns from last year, maybe, and movies and TV shows. But just like everything, whenever there's good horror movies, there's bad ones. Seriously. But we're not talking about bad horror movies. I was originally going to talk about the Puppet Master franchise, but I didn't have enough time to rewatch all of them after last year's Halloween. Until I make some time for that, I'm going to talk about a movie that I had fond memories of when I was a kid. As always, pull up a chair, light your pumpkin, grab a bag of candy, get a tasty drink, sit back and relax as we dive into Halloween movie viewing. So what movie am I going to talk about? Well, it just happens to come from Disney Channel back in the 90s, and that is Unwraps. This is one of those films where every kid watches and the film falls into obscurity, while being remembered by people who enjoyed it, and I'm one of them. It starts with a kid named Marshall and his buddy Gilbert, who just got out of a movie theater and happens to see a mysterious man named Mr. Kubot driving crazy. After talking to their friend Amy in school about Kubot's supposed death and how he has a coffin, they decide to go to his house later that night and see if the coffin is still there. And there is. It's a sarcophagus that has a mummy in there, and he gets out because of a moonlight. The mummy, now called Harold, is left wandering around and the kids decide to take care of it. They go to Marshall's friend Bruce for information, and turns out that if a mummy doesn't return to his coffin before midnight, he will turn to ashes and never exist. But the downside is that Kubot is alive and has it in his possession. So the quest begins on bringing Harold back to his coffin before he dies, and try to stop Kubot once and for all. The story is generic as a plot from a Universal monster movie. A monster is set loose, a group of people or kids find it, they figure out what to do with it, they have to return the monster to their place before they die, and so on. I'm sure we've heard and seen it many times. But I think the writers know how generic it is and they just want to have fun with it, and I understand that. The dialogue seems down to earth, and I think it's why this story is good. That, and it handles some sad and depressing moments. I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it. All I can say is that it's emotional, a tearjerker, and the execution is really damn good. Some of the characters reference famous monsters, Siskel and Ebert's mentioned, Dennis Rodman of all people, The Sound of Music, the Olsen twins, and even E.T. is referenced right after seeing Harold for the first time.
Take him somewhere and experiment on him. Cut him open, dissect him, pack him in formaldehyde. They will? Of course, didn't you see E.T.?
The actors do well in their roles, especially the kids. Mario Yedidia did good as Marshall, and was also good in Warriors of Virtue, which I loved as a kid. He plays a typical kid who loves horror movies, and has an insane collection. Out of all the movie tropes, this one I still love. Adam Wiley was funny as this scared and brave kid. I mean, look at his costume for Halloween.
Well, what are you supposed to be?
Mrs. Howell from Gilligan's Island.
I'm Dennis Rodman.
You look more like his sister Mavis.
That's still funny. Clara Bryant was good at being a smartass and caring at the same time. The actor playing Bruce is quirky and seems to have fun while playing the role. We also get a cameo from Even Stevens actor Tom Virtue. Every actor did great in their part, especially Bill Fagerbakke. He plays Ted, the boyfriend of Marshall's mom, and Harold. Ted's just doing his best to impress Marshall, and I'm glad that he finally accepted him thanks to Harold.
Why don't you come on in and have a seat and tell us about the movie? Got some ice cream, and I was thinking we should all spend some time together.
But when he plays Harold, it's so damn funny. I mean, it's Bill Fagerbakke. He's always fun to watch, and I never get tired of seeing him. The effects are well made. By that I mean the practical effects on Harold. It's nice, looks old and dirty, and just pays off really well. It's not Boris Karloff's mummy or even Christopher Lee's mummy, but this mummy is still good. The effects on Warthead is also good. The music is fine and average. The lights and cinematography is well made. The sets are what steals this movie. Aside from a few decorations outside and inside, the Halloween party scene is just oozing Halloween. That's something you don't see every day.
We're trying to keep a low profile here, so it would help if you would stop playing cowboys and Indians with the monster. He started it.
There are a lot of good and funny moments, like Harold walking to different places, Marshall and Amy's talk about Harold and his mother with Ted, Marshall and Gilbert watching a movie, Harold wearing a bizarre disguise, everyone saying goodbye to Harold, and so much more. One of my favorite scenes is where Amy mentions that she won't date a boy who saw a movie that has the Olsen twins.
We saw that Olsen twins movie twice. I mean, how can you respect a guy like that?
I see your point.
And when she says that she sleeps naked.
Don't tell me you don't have some embarrassing pajamas at home.
I don't wear pajamas. I sleep in the nude.
It's still funny every time I see that scene. Usually it's a no-no to Disney, but it's not provocative, crude, or in poor taste. It's short, subtle, and I like it. My other favorite scene is where Harold tries explaining what happened while walking around and the kids try to understand what he's saying.
You know, the scary thing is, I understood every bit of it.
But my favorite scene is where Marshall and Gilbert are watching a horror movie, and Warhead is about to kill the father by his own knife, which is stuck on a garbage disposal. The reason why this is my favorite scene is that in my sense of humor, it looks like he's forcing the father to give him head. I know it's silly and sick, but what makes it funnier is what Warhead says during this. Tell me you didn't laugh your ass off when you view it from a sick and funny perspective.
My mom's not insane.
She takes her dolls to the movies.
So, there's nothing wrong with that. She buys them popcorn. Once! She did that once!
Overall, I liked it as a kid and I still like it to this day. It's a guilty pleasure, but it's one of my favorite movies from Disney Channel. It's not groundbreaking or trying anything new. It's just a harmless movie with a good story, good characters, good actors, well-made effects, and will make anyone feel like a kid again. If you're looking for something new and thought-provoking, you won't get it here. But if you want to see a Halloween movie that's harmless and has really good subtle moments, this might be up your alley. If you're looking for a Halloween movie to watch for guilty pleasure, I strongly recommend it. It's a movie that me and everyone else loved, and I'm sure that we'll still remember it until the end of time. Have a safe Halloween, and I'll see you in the next Halloween video.
Twig or tweet!
Thank you for watching, and as always, I will catch you later.